So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Yoga Sadhana, which is our yoga spiritual practices. This class will have a combination of chanting, movement, and meditation to get us in the perfect energetic alignment for our day. So, let's go ahead and start right off the bat this morning with a chant. So, you can go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable position. It can be sitting cross legged or sitting up on against the wall or even on a chair if need be. So let's just make sure that as we are sitting that our spine is nice and long, and I'll speak a little more about that in a moment. So at the beginning of a class, it can be particularly helpful to take a double inhalation and tense the whole body. And if you're new to this, it is a low to medium to vibrating the muscles with energy type of tension, and then you just reverse the same way out. So we'll try it together. Take a double inhalation. Squeeze the feet, the calves, knees, thighs, glutes, belly, ribs, chest, straight up the arms, shoulders, throat, and let it all out. Again, squeezing the body, tensing the muscles, and equalizing the distribution of energy through the body. Double exhale. One more time. And watch very closely as you get to the peak of the tension. And all the attention is on the exhalation and total relaxation. So let the breath out and just watch that inflood of energy. All the awareness right to the point between the eyebrows. All right. If you'd like, you can keep the eyes closed. You can open them. You can move around. Do whatever you need to do while we chant. The focus of chanting is always on the heart. So as you listen to these words, as you feel the consciousness communicated by the melody, feel it in your heart to see how it moves you and changes you. How shall I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I seek thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I seek thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I worship thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I worship thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I seek thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I seek thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I serve thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I worship thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? How shall I worship thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. Just as a fire may burn a whole forest, burn to the root my desires. How shall I love thee, Lord my God, with every breath I breathe? Let's just take a moment here to let the heart smile, to feel our own sense of energy and presence uplifted. And if you feel to, you might draw your sense of attention and presence right to the point between the two eyebrows, like you're looking through the skylight in your home. And as is natural, you can slowly come back to open the eyes. So we are going to rise out of our seat this morning, rise with the new day, and you can do so in any which way that you'd like. And be mindful as you're rising of the feelings in the body. Maybe there's a little stiffness in the legs or in some particular part of the body. And let's just start with rubbing of the palms. And a deep inhalation, reach the palms up overhead. And exhale, take a forward fold, release the arms and slide all the way down as you release the head, and then rub the legs a little bit while you're down here. Good, and inhaling, we'll press off of the thighs as we bend the knees and sink the hips. So rise to the spine and send arms reaching up overhead. And exhale, hands can come right down the front side of the body. Let's widen our stance a little bit here, and we're just going to very gently swing the arms from side to side. Even if they knock against the body in any sort of way, you might tap the lower back with the hand that's coming behind just to stimulate the kidneys. And if you normally imagine your body to be a frozen expression, let it become a little more fluid, warming up, a little more dynamic, flexible even. This is a great place to really start drawing in the deep breath. And slowing the movement down as the breath gets a little deeper. And then coming back to center. Let's take a little bend of our knees, step feet right underneath the hips, bending the knees. We'll inhale and then lengthen through the legs, reach up into the sky. Exhale, hands right into the heart center. So we'll take another bend of the knees, reach the arms out forwards. We're going to take a double inhale, and you're pretending like you're pulling a great big rubber band apart, tensing the arms, and then relaxing forward. So a couple times. If you can, hold your attention at the spiritual eye and feel that you're recharging there. Your body like a battery, recharging. Hands come into the center. Good, let's continue with soft fists at the heart, this time tensing out, relaxing in, tensing forwards, relaxing in, tensing up, relaxing down with a little enthusiasm, inhaling out, exhaling forwards. Double inhale up, double exhale down. Inhale out, exhale forward. Double inhale up, double exhale down. One time with the affirmation, I'm positive, I'm energetic, I'm enthusiastic. All right, let's stand here, face the palms forward, and feel all that energy rising through your spine. Beautiful. Hands into the heart to finish. Let's take a moment here to widen our stance. So the right foot is going to go back, maybe a step, maybe 2 steps, but not too wide. We're going to keep the front leg straight here, and our hips are square, reaching right over our legs. We'll take the hands up into the heart and inhale and start to lean forwards. If you need a brace on the thigh, feel free, or you can even hold on to the hips. Keep the heart open in this pose by squeezing shoulder blades together and the chin tucked towards the throat. And it's a slow release forwards until you reach a point where you feel your lower back engaging. Keep pushing strong out of the front foot. And when you feel to, the exhalation finds a rounding of the whole spine and a lowering of your hands. So slide right down. The affirmation for this posture: I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. Let's go ahead and move with that grace as we rise. Try bending your front knee and walking your hands up your body, and keep the bend in the knee and just free the arms up overhead for a full inhalation. Good, and then you can step through as you exhale and come back to the front side of the mat. And we'll take a little reset here. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, hands into the heart. And lean your posture right towards the balls of your feet. Steady as you are here. Relax the body. All right, and let's open the eyes. We'll come for the other side. So let's take a step back with left foot. Right leg stays nice and straight. Remember, your hips are reaching straight in the direction of your front leg. And you can take the hands into the heart, or if it's more supportive, onto the hips, and you just start leaning forwards. As you lean forwards, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And just keep resting in the position, lengthening out of the hips, getting taller throughout the spine. Now, if your chin is sort of shooting out here, draw it in towards the chest. And you finally reach a point where you can sustain and just breathe for a few moments. When you're ready to, go ahead and round the spine as you slide down lower into the pose. The most important part is that the head and the neck release here. So if you notice maybe that you're holding in your neck, this is very common at the top of the neck, base of the skull. Just consciously soften that part of the body. And repeat in that inner wakefulness, I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. I offer myself fully into the flow of grace. Relax the body. When you're ready to rise, you bend the front knee and start walking up as you tighten the abdominal muscles to support you. Keep the bend in the front knee and just release the shape all the way up. Deep inhalation, channel the spine wide open, and then exhalation, we're stepping through. Same as the other side. Let's inhale, arms up and around. Just take a moment here to settle into your practice. Draw your awareness into the parts of the body that were stimulated by the practice. And always finishing at the point between the two eyebrows, maybe a final breath. And then we'll exhale and release that practice. Beautiful. We are going to widen our stance this time, even wider if you can. Take maybe 2 or 3 steps. Importance is to get a nice deep bend in the front knee, which will keep our knees healthy. Forearm comes on to the thigh, opposite arm up to the sky. Now, if you feel comfortable in your shoulders, you can face the top palm down and reach it up overhead, creating a great big extension. You can also be sitting just in this position here. Further alignments is to keep the heart open. So let it rotate almost like it's going to release backwards. Good, and then let's inhale. You can take the top palm and reach up and follow with the other palm. Legs stay in the same shape. Interlace the fingers and press the palms up into the sky. A little bit behind you for a gentle, gentle back bend. And then release the hands out and down. We'll take our big step all the way forwards or several steps till we join together at the front of the mat. Let's close the eyes right away. Just tune in to the parts of the body that were stimulated. Just imagine a fountain of consciousness right in the center of your body, rising up, expanding out. Come back to total rest. Beautiful. And let's do the other side. So you're stepping your left foot back maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 steps behind, and the front knee is bending, not over the ankle, but just right on top of it. The forearm comes to rest, and the other hand can go to the heart. If it feels comfortable, it can go up above the head. It can even face down and reach over the head. The affirmation, I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Let that course through your body. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. Remember, we are affirming the deeper truths of who we are. Beyond the limited energy of this little body, there is a vast ocean that we can open ourselves to receive. I am a fountain of boundless energy and power. You're ready to inhale to rise out. Keep the legs just as they are if you can. Interlace the fingers if your shoulders will allow. Press the hands up to the sky, maybe even slightly behind you. And then bend elbows, drop shoulders, and slide them out of the way. A nice deep inhalation draws that back foot all the way up. And we're back to center. Let's take another reset. Arms all the way up above. Exhale, hands into the heart. See if you can create a habit of pressing your heart forwards. It's almost like someone's reaching underneath you and they're lifting you from beneath your heart. Observing what's happening within the body and the effects of the position on your consciousness, on your energy. Good. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Let's come back and we're going to take into another pose. This one is a little more challenging. If you have trouble balancing or trouble with your legs, just leave your back foot on the ground. So your heel is lifted, little bend in your front knee, and you can just join your hands together in front of your heart. And if you feel to, you might reach your left arm up into the sky. If you'd like to keep progressing in this pose, rock up onto one foot and catch the back ankle into the hand. Kicking into the back hand, we keep reaching forwards. Even if you stay for a breath and then have to come and rest, this is a great way to start tipping the toes of our efforts into the position. The affirmation while moving through life, I am anchored in myself. This is a capital S. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. And when you're ready, just slowly release the back leg down and try taking both arms up overhead. Heel stays lifted and just reach as tall as you can, almost like you are hanging from a tree branch. And then you can exhale and release down and just take your step through. So we're going to take hands right under the thighs. You can step feet a little bit wider. Exhale, release the head, neck, and the whole torso down towards the ground. You can leave the hands on the thighs. Inhale, press off of the thighs to rise halfway, growing out of the hips all through the spine, and then exhaling to release forwards. You can roll up here, nice slow rolling of the spine until you come back to standing position. Let's flip the palms and extend them down and out towards the ground. Really lift the heart here. Just imagine like the energy of a rocket. You're just about to take off. There's a building. Good. And then exhale, you can turn the palms down. So let's do the other side, just to be even here. Left foot going behind onto the tips of the toes. And hands drawing into the heart, perhaps. And when you get into this position, start to lean forwards a little. If you feel to, right arm goes up. And you place the left hand over the heart. And this is your position to stay in. You can change it at any time, but if you'd like to reach for the back foot, now is the time to do so. And start kicking into the back hand as you leverage the body forward. I like to think of those little tipping birds on the office desk that would tap their beak into the water. This is the type of stance that we're putting our body into. For the upward reaching hand, thumb is pointing up. This will make it much more comfortable on your shoulder. And your gaze is very important. Align it towards the wall in front of you or even above. Remember the affirmation, while moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. While moving through life, I'm anchored in myself. When you're ready to descend, you lower the back leg down, take hands into the heart for a moment, and then inhale and reach them up above the head. And exhale, you can go ahead and release out. So let's take feet a little wider and just come right back into swinging the hands. Some of these postures can put a little bit of pressure under the low spine, and this is a great way just to relieve that. Something interesting to notice is what's happening with the gaze of your attention. If you're looking left and right about your room, this is typically indicative of a busy mind. The busy mind is always looking around. See if you can hone in on one particular point. Just focus there. And in the wake of that focus, let there be a wave of calm that spreads throughout your body as you relax into this practice. And slowly coming back to center. All right, let's draw the energy together. Inhale, hands into prayer and rest them right onto the altar of the heart. Sit up nice and tall. All right, let's bend the knees, drop down. Inhale, sweep up and around. Nice deep breath. Good. Exhale, we're coming all the way down, palms face down. All the way down. Inhale, you can rise, come into a little halfway lift position. And exhale, come back down. We're going to slowly build up. It's our last standing position. You might on the way up just give your knees a little bit of a rub. It's amazing how just a little bit of stimulation between the hand and the joint really helps to get the blood flowing. Good. You can even get up into the hips and just do a little circling here. Make sure you get the front side of the hip. All right, our last standing position you can do with feet wide if you need more stability, or if you're going to challenge your body, bring the big toes together. We're going to inhale and reach our arms up above the head and then start to lean over. Now drop the bottom hand and let it come around and just press right along the area of the breast and the shoulder and press it backwards. And you might even feel your arm, it sort of lifts up for a moment and then it settles into the shoulder. And it'll make it much easier to stay here. Then you can return that hand back over. The affirmation, strength and courage fill my body cells. Strength and courage fill my body cells. Maybe we're drawing the strength to break an old habit or form a new one. Maybe we're in need of courage to meet a challenge in life, asking us to grow and expand beyond what we're used to. When you're ready, just come right through center and inhale. Very important, align your spine. So get as tall as you can and keep rising with the spine, even as the arms go down. Reach, reach, reach up through the spine. Really open the heart. Create that habit of pressing the heart forwards and drawing the chin towards the throat. All right, let's go to the other side. As you're ready, inhale, arms come up and around, and we reach up and over. Now, fun fact about this pose, you can have hands in the heart and just be leaning over towards the side, sort of like you're listening in to what's happening in the next room. All right, reach the arms up and over. And again, I like to take the bottom arm and just press right up past the breast into the shoulder. Make sure the arms are relaxing. So from the side, your body is in a nice line of energy. It's not hunched forwards. Good. Strength and courage fill my body cells. The strength even to hold the body in this position. The breath is the flow of life and energy in your practice. Make sure that you're allowing your breath to support any position we're choosing. If you can get a little longer before the release, maybe final breath in, and then inhaling to rise all the way up, lengthen through the spine, align the spine, hands come down to relax by the sides. Make sure you have a little bend in your knees and just really draw the energy up the body. You can even use the hands to symbolize the union between left and right sides of the body. Careful that the chin doesn't get proud, contracting in the back of the neck, lifting the chin. Just draw the chin in towards the chest and expand the back of the neck. And we'll finish at the point between the two eyebrows with total rest. Just a moment or two here. And slowly release the hands. So we'll go ahead and come down out of our standing series here. You can do so by reaching arms up and around if you'd like. Sometimes I like to lift the heels to get a real nice long activation through the legs, and then exhale and fold forwards. And use this as an opportunity as you're folding forwards to start straightening your legs a little more, rubbing the knees, softening in the lower spine. Just checking in with your body temple, not judging or comparing to another time in life, but just starting wherever you are today and working towards a more relaxed experience of the body. If you can reach your feet, rub your feet. In all cases, we're coming down to the ground. And if you feel to, some of us will walk back through downward facing dog. This is a nice way to transition. Others of us are ready to take a rest into child's pose. So we'll just bend the knees and lower the head. If your child's pose looks more like this with hips lifted, just stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your head on them. And the idea, whether you're in downward facing dog or in child's pose, is to let the body start to soften, become more malleable. Let the breath move through the body. Sometimes we pack away little unintegrated, undigested feelings and thoughts, and they hold in the body as tension. When they're beginning to release, they may start coming through the jaw or the hands or the feet. These are very common areas that our body starts to brace when this tension starts releasing. So be extra conscious to keep these parts of the body relaxed. You can open and close the hands. You can wiggle the toes or make funny faces. Beautiful. When you're ready to rise, do so gradually. And we're going to slide the feet out of the way so that we're seated on the ground. First position is to join the feet together and let the knees spread open nice and wide. The further your feet are away from the body, the easier it is to be in this pose. Hold on to some part of your legs and imagine like you're threading through the eye of a needle. You're threading your heart forwards in this pose. It's almost like there's something right beyond your toes and you're really curious to see what it is. And that's where we're headed, just with a little energy of leaning forwards. For some of us, the habit in this pose may be to just round the back, but what I encourage you to do is keep the spine long for as long as you can. And it could be interesting to just do a little rocking side to side. Notice what parts of the body may be activated by just this very simple leaning left and right. Just like a seashell would sort of wash down through the water left and right. You could imagine the same movement as you maybe lean forwards as you go left and right, and then come back. And then at some point you can relax your head and your neck forwards and just bow the whole shape forwards. The affirmation is secure in myself. I accept whatever is. Be sure especially to drop the head and the neck down. You might even venture to tuck the chin towards the chest to really get an opening through the back side of the neck. And we're not quite ready to dive into total stillness, so let's come back up here and sit tall. We're going to drop the chin towards the chest and rock one ear to one shoulder, and then just go over side to side. Please avoid going all the way back and lifting the chin, just washing left to right, chin coming across the chest, over one side to the other. Really be present with the movement. It's much more than just stretching a muscle. You're shifting the inner quality of consciousness and energy in this part of the body. When you're ready to come up, just lift the chin and pull on some part of the legs and lift the chin as high as it'll go. Close the mouth nice and tight, lift the chin. And then you can exhale and come to neutral. Let's fold the knees together and we'll just set our hands behind us and do a little rocking side to side. Lift the hip right up off of the ground, arching the lower spine and through the back. Deep breath as you rotate from one direction to the other. And we'll make our way into the center for a moment. We are going to face our fingers reaching behind us, so palms, heels of the hands are towards your hips. So this is mostly about your face. You're going to take a deep breath in, and we're going to open the mouth and stick out the tongue and stretch all the muscles of the face. It looks like this. You can even keep the eyes open. So let's do it together. Take a deep breath. Open the mouth, stick out the tongue. Bright eyes. Exhale all the breath out. Good. And then take another deep breath. One more time. And then you can release. Let's take hands to the backs of the thighs. You can even interlace the fingers and just hold on to the legs. We're going to do this in two different versions. One is to start reclining back and draw the shoulders down and back, and then draw them together behind the heart. From there, you can lift up through the heart, and you may be able to recline onto your heels. Some of us may, without collapsing in the lower back, may be able to lift our feet just an inch. And if you feel strong in the pose without compromising in the lower spine, you can lift the feet. So we're using the weight of the legs and the strength of the arms to really coax the heart open and forwards. The affirmation within my every breath is infinite power. Let's draw from that inner well. Within my every breath is infinite power. Lower down as the body needs to. Fingers are going to point towards the heels. We're going to inhale and lift for a reverse tabletop position. It'll give everything a rest that was just activated. Now, if you can, try straightening the legs and sitting between the hands. Certainly not available for all bodies. If it's not, just lower the hips down, then we'll inhale and come back up. Good, relaxing and breathing. Exhale, come back down. If you can hover the hips, that's a little bonus for you. And then inhale, last time. The affirmation, with a burst of energy, I rise to greet the world. And then you can go ahead and lower it down. Let's spread knees wide, take feet together, and just give a little massage of the legs, especially in the hips and the thighs. If you can touch the feet, come down to the feet. Let the head and the neck bow for a few moments and just use this as an opportunity to rest. And at some point, just find stillness, maybe for 2 or 3 breaths. Close the eyes, turn inward. And we'll slowly begin to rise. So we're going to fold the knees back together again and take the hands to the sides and just release side to side. Make sure everything's happy and relaxed. You notice the body starts to get a little more malleable, more receptive. And when you feel that it's right, just work your way gradually back to join the knees, the ankles nice and close together. So a little different this time. We're going to hold individual legs on the back side of the thighs. We're going to start reclining, and you may stay here. Feet are going to stay on the ground in this version, and we're going to gradually loosen the grip of the hands and float the palms up. So this really focuses at the point where your hips and your torso join. It focuses on this need to squeeze the knees together and ankles together. And if you can keep reclining, you'll get into the lower spine. Now the idea is to feel like you are growing out of the base of the spine. It's just like one of those incredible trees that grows on the edge of a cliff out of seemingly nothing, out of the rock. You're growing your spine out of seemingly nothing with great energy. All right. When you're ready to hold onto the shins, you can interlace the fingers and try to sit up as tall as you can. Just close the eyes for 3 breaths. The affirmation within my every breath is infinite power. Keep sitting up, reaching like you had little balloons tied to your ears and they were about to carry you away into the sky. Nice light quality of energy. When you're ready to come back, go ahead and rotate your knees off to the side. And we're going to take our hands onto the ground. Top leg extends out nice and long. Press off of the ground to slide the other knee underneath the body, and we'll come into side plank position right from here. Now in this side plank, you're welcome to just keep like the second hands of a clock, ticking back, opening the heart, lowering behind you. You'll find a place that's usually deeply engaged. If you'd like to reach over the head, you can rotate the shape to reach over the head for a few breaths. So notice if the side body wants more opening or if the heart feels better stimulated. At some point, you wave that hand back and down and around.
Good, and we're going to set the hand right under the ground, come under the ball of your back foot. So you'll face backwards, the left hand is down, right arm reaches forwards. Good, nice deep breath here. Thumb is reaching up as you reach away from the extended leg. Good, let's set it down again. So right hand goes down, left heel goes down, and open the shape up. We'll tune in with the affirmation now, centering your attention like a laser beam on one point, relaxing everything around that point of focus with calm concentration. We'll repeat the affirmation together. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distractions. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distractions. Back end comes down, hips bow out of the way. Take your hands in a position that supports you as you lower down. Let the leg extend out and keep the foot centered right into the center of the body. We're going to slide our hand down this leg. Step your other hand as you start to rotate your heart out. You're going to catch the rays of sun with your heart. You're turning out. If that other arm, which would be your right arm in this case, wants to reach up and behind you, you can maybe find a place to rest there. Some of us may be able to thread it behind the body towards the thigh. That might seem a little crazy for some bodies, but you can also seat it behind you, pressing off heel of the hand. When you're ready to, ride on the wave of the exhalation and start to rotate your whole body so that it's aligned over this leg. Drop the head and the neck down. Repeating the affirmation, left, right, all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Left, right, all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Keep the breath flowing. Knowing that there's a certain amount of energy that we have to put out in order to draw on the inner supply of energy. So it's by holding your attention in one place, by holding yourself still, so to speak, with deep breath, that we can draw on that flow of grace. Let's slowly start to rise, and we're going to set for the other side. Think of your practice as like a boat. And at first, it has many holes of distraction, of lack of attention, intensity of attention. Let's start sliding down this leg. And set the other hand, you can press off of the thigh, but just start rotating the heart out. You should feel it along the inner thigh a little bit. Other holes in our boat, idle wandering of thoughts, thinking about past or future, holding unloving thoughts towards others. And the idea here is to start plugging all of those holes so that we can use this raft to deliver us from a place of restlessness back to a place of inner peace and connectedness. This requires energy and effort,
and also receptivity to grace. If you wanted to extend that arm, now's a good time to do so, or you can reach it behind you in some fashion. Just keep leaning into this front leg. What's happening in your spine? Can you become aware of the spine? We're going to slowly transition to center our whole body over this extended leg. It might require that you pull this knee a little bit more forward so that your foot really seals on this inside leg. And so your whole orientation is now over this leg, and we'll start dropping over the leg, head relaxing down. If you keep the toes flexed towards the face, it will intensify the sensation of the pose. If you relax them out or to the side, it will relieve. The affirmation, left, right, all around, life's harmonies are mine. That is attunement with grace. Left, right, all around, life's harmonies are mine. And we'll prepare to rise when you're ready to. And maybe just set the hands behind the hips for a moment and squeeze the shoulder blades behind the heart and sit up as tall as you can. Chin drawn towards the throat. We're getting into that proper posture. Look right to the spiritual eye. And if you relax deeply, you may like to turn your awareness inward and see what's happening. Is there a flow of energy or an expansion of consciousness? And we're coming for the big rest soon, but not quite yet. Let's go ahead and wrap our hands so that they're behind the thigh here. And if you point your toes of your extended leg down towards the ground, you should be able to press up and set that knee underneath the body. Now you may need to draw it backwards a little bit, and then we'll reach our arm up to the sky. And this is setting for our side angle pose. Just like on the first side, if you'd like, you can slowly tick back one little tick at a time, letting that hand come back and behind. And this puts a lot of energy into the heart. Sometimes we can become quite intellectual in our movement through life. And by stimulating the heart, you start to awaken the feeling nature of your consciousness. And if you're coming up overhead, now's the time to do so. Taking a nice deep breath, reaching up and over. Good. We're going to switch sides here. Or switch directions. We're going to roll onto the ball of the back foot. Set. Right hand down. Left arm reaches forwards, up and out. Nice, steady breath. And we'll come back. Left arm comes down. Settle the back heel down and reach up and open the heart out to the side. Modify and adjust as you need to. The affirmation, the calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distraction. The calm fire of my concentration burns all restlessness, all distractions. And when you're ready, you slowly descend down one last time. We're rolling onto the ball of the back foot. Right hand settles down. Left arm reaches up overhead.
Keep expanding from your center, using strength of the belly, relaxation of the mind to keep you firmly established in the pose. Lowering down as you see fit, both knees come back to the ground. Let's take a little circling of the hips here. Hands are under shoulders. Just loosen everything up in the region of the hips. Reverse when you're ready. And see if there's an interior part of your body you can be aware of. Can we get inside of a joint or inside of the spine? Can we get behind the point between the two eyebrows? And then we'll come to neutral position. Let's inhale and draw the belly down as we lift the crown of the head up. This is cow position. And then arch the spine and round your back up towards the sky. A couple of times here, making sure that the spine is healthy, flexible. You can even pull on the heels of the hands a little bit in cow pose to decompress the low spine. And then find your final round, rounding up. And we'll sweep feet off to the sides. We're making our way down towards the ground. Some of us may be quite excited to come to this point of the practice. Before we get down there, sit up nice and tall in your spine. Hold onto the backs of the legs, close the armpits down, elbows by the ribs. And see if you can engage the muscles in the pelvic floor. This is right at the base of the spine. And by drawing them up and in, it's almost like putting the drain plug in the tub. All the energy that would otherwise just pour out and dissipate gets drawn up through the body. This may be something that's available to you. Stay as long as you'd like in that stillness, and for the rest of us, we'll start coming down, rolling onto the back. Take the knees in towards the chest. Get a little waving of the knees side to side even. You can take arms up nice and broad. Be mindful of the support that you're giving your low spine. If you need to set feet on the ground, you can wave knees side to side like that. When everything starts to feel settled, we're going to draw the left knee in towards the chest. Cross that foot over the right thigh. And we're going to start lifting our right knee towards our chest. So if you can reach the knee, reach for the knee. So it's a little different than the figure 4 pose. If that's more comfortable for you, go ahead and find that. It's a universal pose. Just let all the areas on the outside of the hip, even around the tailbone and the base of the spine, find total rest. When you're ready to exchange, you just set the right foot down and unstep. So it's the right knee now that comes in, and you just cross the foot over the thigh. So rather than being up towards the knee, unless you're going to do figure 4 pose, you set that foot down towards the hip. And then we start drawing the left knee in towards the chest, and it may only go a couple inches here. Ideally, you can hold on to it somehow. At this point in your practice, let there be longer dives into the still waters of peace. Drawing deep, slow, momentous breath into the body. We're going to release out of this pose and take our final pose, which is Happy Baby. You take the knees nice and wide and draw them towards the shoulders. Feet go halfway to the sky, and we reach for our feet. You might get to the thighs, you might get to the calves, the ankles, you might get to the edges of the feet. There's usually some place that's very comfortable for your hands. Now, this is perhaps the most demanding on the hips of any yoga pose. So be mindful of what your body actually needs. If you work towards expanding the legs wider apart, this will help to expand your experience of the pose. Some of us like rocking side to side. That nice little rocking movement takes away from the rawness or the reality of our hips and the sensation that can be there. Good, and come to the surface for fresh water, or fresh breath rather. Feet joined together. Push the knees away from the shoulders. This should totally relieve the sensation all throughout your hips. And then when you're ready, you inhale, come back for another round.
Just rest in that sequence for a few more breaths. And slowly make your way to your final pose. If you need anything in between, a little twisting, even whole body expansion, feel free. We're going to lay down onto our backs and use this as an opportunity to integrate. You can extend your legs out nice and long. And we'll take this very sweet melody into Shavasana, our final resting position. So just make sure that you're resting wherever you are. This may be familiar. So do thou, my Lord, so do thou, my Lord, thou and I never apart, thou and I never apart. Wave of the sea dissolve in the sea, oh, wave of the sea dissolve in the sea. Oh, I am the bubble, make me the sea. I am the bubble, make me the sea. Make me the sea, oh, make me the sea. Mother, make me the sea, oh, make me the sea. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. Wave of the sea, dissolve in the sea. Oh, I am the bubble, make me the sea. I am the bubble, make me the sea. So do thou, my Lord, so do thou, my Lord, thou and I never Let's enjoy a moment here while lying in stillness to feel the body in a deep state of relaxation, to feel our heart open. Let's begin inviting breath, conscious deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Little movements of the fingers and the toes. Maybe reaching the arms up overhead along the earth for just a moment of expansive expression. And then gradually you can begin to make your way back to a seated position. As you find yourself arriving in that position, make sure that the spine is nice and tall. Relax yourself into an exalted expression of the spine. Starting with the lowest parts of the spine, lengthening upward, reaching heart forwards, crown of the head expansive. We'll just take a few moments together in silence, resting our attention at the heart or at the point between the two eyebrows. Let's gently draw the hands together in front of the heart, and we'll close with a prayer. Choosing someone in your life that you'd like to pray for. Could be somebody in need of physical healing or even just a feeling of support, of love. It could be a family member that you just want to send good vibes to. Let's hold them in the sanctuary of our heart, and we'll rub the palms together. And then separating the palms, just imagine that they're being bathed with waves of grace, the same grace that has carried us throughout our lives, blessing them. We'll take 3 final repetitions of Om for our practice. Deep inhalation to begin. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace to these souls, to all beings out there. We'll take a gentle bow of our head towards our hands in prayer. We're bowing to that place within us that is divine, that is loving, kind, and always peaceful. We bow to that place in all beings by saying Namaste, Namaste. So take your time, slowly opening your eyes and coming back. And thank you so much for joining this morning.